I planned a photo shoot for my friend as her birthday gift. Hi! Hello friends, welcome to this video. If you are new here, hello, my name is Yoon, and you... I'm just kidding. So anyway, as you saw from the title of this video, today I'm gonna talk about a photo shoot. Just to make it clear, this photo shoot was happened back in April, and I'm only making this video now because I had a few projects going on over the past few months and I couldn't really focus on it. Anyway, so for this photo shoot, we went to Morib, a beach. Why the beach? Before we get into the photo shoot, I want to share about the concept, planning, sort of like the preparations for this photo shoot. So I actually made a deck for the photo shoot, although it's just a simple photo shoot, just me and my friend, but I think it's important to have a deck so that you can have a glance of everything related to the project. I can't recommend enough. I think Musinova really did a great job as a tool for organizing ideas and projects into visual boards. Now obviously I didn't get paid for saying this. I'm a Musinova user for quite a long while and I'm still using the free version all this while. I'm quite a visual organizer, so an interface like this really made my life easier. If you're feeling the same like me, where your mind is constantly cluttered with a lot of stuff, then being able to group these pieces and arrange it to a whole picture, it really just make it more clearer, and that's the whole point. I'm not making a review for Musinova today, but literally just would love to recommend it too. I find it really useful for you guys. So yeah, try it out. Anyway, let's get back to the photo shoot. So I was wanted to execute a personal photo shoot for a long time. I asked if my friend Cici would be my model, and obviously she said yes. Since her birthday was coming up that time, I wanted to tie the idea into something like life milestone. I was actually have a few ideas in my mind, but this concept, I named it unfinished, sort of just stand out in my mind, so I started it as a core and defined it as a visual reflection of how we are all still in motion, not yet complete but constantly becoming. So I chose the beach location because sand and seawater are shapeable like this. We are always shifting, never fixed. It really feels so relatable to our current stage of life. We just graduated not too long ago in February this year and stepped into the society. Although some of us, I've noticed, are already in a more stable stage of work and life, but still, I think we are all exploring, still wondering, and that brings changes. That's why I think the beach is the perfect location for that metaphor. Now of course there are many beaches in Malaysia, but I chose Morib because first of all we want it during the sunset instead of sunrise, so we have to choose from those at the west side. I did some research and found that Morib happened to have the low tide during sunset on our planned day, and low tide means it's going to have a white and wet landform. I'm just going to pop it out right here what I mean, the white and wet landform. And I think this is pretty cool. So location block. Then moving on to wardrobe, basically I just want to achieve a flowy, natural and minimalist kind of vibe. Just want to keep it simple and on the ground. I also got some references photo for posing, but honestly just want her to be her because that's the nature of this photo shoot, to capture who she is, so this really just for reference and backup. I also made some technical notes. These technical notes are more relevant to editing, but it's good to know ahead of what I'm expecting to get from the outcome, so I can be aware of when I'm taking the photos. So you can see here, I plan to have the photos edited to 1:1 aspect ratio and also achieve the film emulation for digital photos. Now these are only part of the planning. It's of course flexible for this photo shoot because it's a photo shoot that means to be a chance for me and her to explore more. So yeah, my thoughts actually shifted a bit when I got to editing, and I'm going to share about it later. So just stay along with me. Now let's get back on the shoot day. day we shot this, the weather was kind, so to say nothing hits harder than the sunshine after a rainy sky. But it wasn't perfect, because we're actually late, and the sun is setting fast. That means we are losing light fast.
I got from... You know what?
What?
Okay, 不要动啊 3, 2, 1 Alright, okay. Shall we?
Okay, let's do it. We shot both film and digital because I want to capture and compare both immediacy and nostalgia. But shooting in film was my first intention, so I prioritized in shooting in film first. I gave her simple posing directions, but most of the time I just let her move freely. By the way, this is the Yashica FX3 Super 2000. It's the first time this SLR appears on this channel. Previously I was using a point and shoot, and now I have a SLR. Probably going to make a video to talk about this SLR in near future. Probably. Although I plan to shoot in both film and digital, but I was wanted to finish the whole roll of film for her, but ended up losing the light really fast. I gave it a final attempt. I used this small light from Ulanzi to get some close-up shot. There is a light meter inside the viewfinder, and it started to show a red negative symbol. That means underexposed, and I only have this lens. It's not a fast lens starting from f3.5. I'm so concerned that it might turn out to underexposed until it's complete darkness. So to play safe, I swapped to shooting in digital before the sun completely set. So the setup is the Sony a7C II with the Sony 15mm f1.8. So obviously I didn't film the BTS later on because I'm literally using the camera for taking photos. Now let's go through the digital photo first. Here are some of my favorite digital shots. So digital photos actually turns out in the way I expected it. First of all, when I'm taking the photos, I have achieved in using motion blur in some shots to symbolize uncertainty and fluidity. And then when I'm editing the photos, I edited them with film emulsion in mind, soft tones, natural colors, and a hint of green. I wanted them to feel timeless, a bit like a memory, not something too polished or modern. And then I also applied the 1:1 aspect ratio because I want it to be more subject-centered. And because the perk of shooting in digital is that you get to have the immediacy as I can check the photos. Once I get my desired shot, I'm confident enough to move on to try different variations, different posing, different shot sizes, full shots, medium shots, close-up shot, or some detail shots. And this version helped in creating a story when the right photos line up together. Do you feel it? Photography is so subjective. Well, for me, there is a cute story going on here, in my opinion. Now, digital photos more or less fulfill what I have planned, the motion blur, film emulsion, and 1:1 aspect ratio. While for film photography, it's not really the thing. There's always something about film, the unpredictability and the imperfections. I have to make it clear that it was my second attempt on film photography, and it was my first time in using this SLR. So I am still a bit rocky in handling this stuff. So for my current stage, I'm going to define film photography as super unpredictable. Every time when I got the result back from the lab, I'm still super much feeling like opening a Christmas present, a complete unknown. So some frames didn't turn out the way I expected, but in a way it feels right for this project. Life isn't always in focus, There's uncertainty and that's okay. Not trying to find an excuse, it just makes sense to me. I wouldn't say the outcome is bad though, it just felt more like an experiment than something I was fully in control of. So I didn't get a motion blur, some even not in focus, or it is unexposed, there's color shift, but that's okay, it's fine. I also keep it in its original 35mm film size, which is a 3:2 aspect ratio, rather than cropping it into 1:1 aspect ratio, because I think it's keep its rawness and it's just more emotional in a way. In the end, I feel that I still got some favorite shots from it. A side topic. So after the photo shoot, I also shot some videos because I think it's pretty cool. But I remember the beach was so dark when we finished the photo shoot, and we were terrified because there was some weird sounds, dog barking and stuff like that. So we packed things up quickly and wrapped it up. But yeah, it was fun. Crazy. Lastly, I want to talk about the comparison between shooting in film and digital. You can tell a mood change when I shift from film to digital. When I'm shooting in film, the shots are more intentional because obviously we don't want to waste any frame, so every frame takes a longer time. While when shooting in digital, the process, everything happened pretty quick. And I think this is so much more efficient. So like I said, we get to move on to try different variations, and I feel like she's being more bold in expressing herself when we keep trying to pose for different shots. The mood was meant to be soft and melancholic, but also playful because that's who she is. Someone who feels deeply, but also love easily. That's why I think there's a contrast. The mood in film is more emotional and deep, but digital photos show a playful side of her. I feel like it's a bonus I get from shooting in both the film and digital, as it gave the project so much more depth, and I'm grateful that I did both of it. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and of course a huge thanks to Cici for saying yes to be the model. It wasn't just a photo, it was the experience, something I have never done before. It was pretty cool and I had a lot of fun. I would love to know what you think of the photos, or if you ever done a personal photo shoot like this before. Let me know in the comments. I really enjoy reading your thoughts. If you found this video helpful or just enjoy being here, feel free to like or subscribe. I'm hoping to share more projects in the future. Alright, I think that's really it. Thanks again for being here, and with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.